My best friend slept with my husband in my guest room during my own baby shower, while I was opening gifts downstairs. I'm Alisa and I heard them. If you have ever been stabbed in the back by the two people you trusted most, please hit that like button, subscribe to Alisa Revenge Stories, and turn on notifications, because how I made them pay in front of everyone left the entire party speechless. I was 7 months pregnant. 7 months. Swollen feet, back pain, can't sleep on my stomach. But I was happy. So happy it hurt. My husband, Mark, and I had been trying for 4 years. 4 years of doctors, shots, tears, negative tests. And finally, we were having a little girl. We were going to name her Sophie. And my best friend, Rachel, had been there through all of it. Rachel was my person since college. 20 years of friendship. She was my maid of honor. She was going to be Sophie's godmother. We had a necklace that said sisters forever. She was family. So when Rachel said, "Alisa, let me throw you the perfect baby shower, you deserve it," I cried and said yes. The day of the baby shower was a Saturday in May. My house was full. 30 women. My mom, my sisters, my aunts, my cousins, my co-workers. Pink and white balloons everywhere. A cake that said "Welcome baby Sophie." Rachel was in charge of everything. She was buzzing around in her tight red dress, looking beautiful as always. Too beautiful for a baby shower, I thought for a second. But I pushed that thought away. That's just Rachel. Mark was supposed to be gone. The plan was, he goes golfing with his buddies so we can have our girl time. He kissed me goodbye at 10 a.m. "You look beautiful, Alisa." "My 2 beautiful girls," he said, rubbing my belly. I believed him. The party started at 11. Gifts, games, laughter. I was opening a little yellow Odyssey when I realized Rachel was gone. And Mark's car was back in the driveway. I saw it through the window. His black truck. Parked. But Mark was supposed to be golfing until 3. My stomach did a weird flip. Not the baby kicking. Something else. I excused myself. "Just going to the bathroom, ladies." My heart was pounding as I walked up the stairs. My house was quiet upstairs. The downstairs was full of laughter. Upstairs was silent. Our bedroom door was open. Empty. The guest room door was closed. The guest room we had just painted light pink for Sophie's nursery, but we were still storing some boxes in the other guest room next door. I heard a noise. A laugh. Rachel's laugh. That high, giggly laugh she does when she's flirting. And then Mark's voice. "Sure, someone will hear you." My hand froze on the doorknob. My 7-month pregnant belly was pressing against the door. I am Alisa, I am 39 years old, and I have never felt blood leave my body so fast. My knees literally gave out. I had to grab the wall to stay standing. I pushed the door open just an inch. Just 1 inch. And I saw them. On the bed. Rachel's red dress pulled up. Mark's shirt off. Kissing. On the bed where my mother was supposed to sleep when she came to help with the baby. Rachel whispered, "Do you think she suspects?" Mark laughed. "Alisa. No. Alisa trusts you. She thinks you're her sister." Rachel smiled. "Poor Alisa. She's so naive. Always was." My baby kicked. Hard. Like she knew her mother was breaking into a million pieces. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I don't know how. I quietly closed the door. 1 inch back to closed. I walked back downstairs like a ghost. Downstairs, 30 women were singing, "Alisa, Alisa, open the next gif." My mom said, "Honey, are you okay? You look white as a sheet." I sat down. I smiled. A smile that felt like glass. "I'm just tired," I said. Pregnancy tired. 2 minutes later, Rachel came bouncing down the stairs, fixing her hair. "Sorry. I was just checking on the gift bags upstairs. They were a mess." Mark came down right after her, his hair messed up, his face red. "Hey, I forgot my golf gloves. Thought I'd grab them and leave you ladies to it." He kissed me on the forehead. His lips were warm. Rachel's lipstick was on his collar. A tiny pink smudge. No one else saw it. But I did. My best friend of 20 years had just slept with my husband at my own baby shower, in my house, while I was carrying his child downstairs. I looked at Rachel. She was looking at me, smiling, holding her sister's forever necklace. And in that second, my sadness turned into something cold and clear. Rage. I was not going to ruin my baby shower by screaming. I was not going to give them the satisfaction of a scene. I was 7 months pregnant with a little girl who needed me to be strong. I was going to let them think they got away with it. For 3 more weeks. Until my gender reveal party that Rachel and Mark were both planning together. The party where I had already hired a photographer, a videographer, and where both our families would be there. I picked up the next gift and said, "Oh, wow, a little pink dress. So cute." And while everyone clapped, I texted myself one sentence so I would never forget: remember the guest room. Remember the lipstick. Because what I was going to do at that gender reveal would make sure everyone remembered it too. For 3 weeks I lived like a detective in my own house. Downstairs I was the glowing pregnant wife. Upstairs, I was a woman who checked laundry hampers for lipstick stains and smelled her husband's shirts. Mark acted normal. Too normal. He would come home from work, kiss my belly, talk to Sophie. "Hey baby girl, it's daddy." And every time he touched me, I had to stop myself from flinching. Because all I could see was him in that guest room with Rachel. Rachel was worse. She texted me every single day. "Morning sis. How's my goddaughter? Miss you. Can't wait for gender reveal. Though we all know it's a girl lol. Alisa, Mark is so excited to be a dad, you're so lucky." I wanted to throw my phone at the wall. Instead, I typed back, "Love you sis. You're the best." Because I needed her comfortable. I needed her to think I was still that naive Alisa she laughed at. One night, Mark was in the shower. His phone buzzed on the nightstand. I had never looked through his phone in 10 years of marriage. Not once. That night, I did. Password was still Sophie 2026. Our daughter's name. I opened WhatsApp. And there it was. A chat pinned to the top. Rachel. Heart emoji next to her name. I clicked it. My hands started shaking so bad I had to sit on the floor. Hundreds of messages. Going back 8 months. 8 months. When I was in my first trimester, throwing up every morning, crying because I thought I would lose the baby. Rachel, I wish I was the one carrying his baby. Mark, you're so much hotter than Alisa when she's pregnant, no offense. Rachel, when are you going to leave her? You said after the baby is born. Mark, baby, you know it's complicated. The house, the family. Rachel, the baby shower was so hot. Doing it while she was downstairs. You're so bad. Mark, you loved it. I dropped the phone. I ran to the bathroom and threw up. For real this time. Not morning sickness. Heartbreak sickness. 8 months. My best friend and my husband had been sleeping together for 8 months. Since before my belly even popped. The gender reveal was supposed to be their idea. Rachel had said, "Let's do a big reveal. Pink or blue powder cannon. Mark will love it." Now I understood. It wasn't for me. It was for them. A party to celebrate their secret. How sick. I sat on the bathroom floor for an hour, crying silently so Mark wouldn't hear me in the shower. My daughter kicked me, like she was saying, "Mommy, I'm here." And I thought about my options. I could scream. I could divorce him right then. I could slap Rachel in front of everyone. But that would make me the crazy hormonal pregnant lady. They would flip it. Alisa is overreacting, it's pregnancy hormones. No. I needed smart revenge. Legal revenge. Revenge that would make sure the truth came out and they could never lie their way out of it. So I started planning. First, I went to a lawyer. My cousin, Jennifer, is a family lawyer. I didn't tell my family, just Jennifer. I showed her the messages. She took photos of everything with her own phone for evidence. "Alisa, I'm so sorry," she whispered. "What do you want to do?" "I want full custody," I said, my voice steady for the first time in weeks. "And I want them to admit what they did in front of everyone, on camera, so they can never say I'm lying." Jennifer smiled sadly. You're stronger than you look, Alisa. Second, I called the videographer for the gender reveal. I told him, I want 2 cameras. One for the party, one hidden focused on me and Mark and Rachel. And I want microphones everywhere. It's for a surprise video for the baby. He said, of course, Alisa. Great idea. Third, I set the trap. I texted Rachel and Mark in a group chat I made called Team Sophie Reveal. Me, guys. I have a super cute idea. For the reveal, Mark and Rachel, you two should hold the powder cannons together. Since you're Sophie's daddy and godmommy. It will be so cute. Rachel replied in 2 seconds, OMG yes. Love it. Mark, perfect idea, babe. They had no idea they were walking into their own exposure. The gender reveal day came. My backyard was decorated in pink and blue. 50 people. Both our moms. My dad filming on his iPad. The videographer I hired with his 2 cameras. Rachel showed up in a white dress. White. To my baby's gender reveal. Like a bride. Mark was wearing a shirt I had bought him. The one Rachel had complimented. They stood together holding the big pink and blue cannon, laughing, touching each other like they already thought they were a couple. Everyone was counting down. 10, 9, 8. I was standing right behind them, 7.5 months pregnant, holding my belly, holding a remote in my pocket. Everyone thought the remote was for music. It wasn't. My name is Alisa, and I was about to press a button that would show everyone who my best friend and my husband really were. 7, 6, 5. 50 people were shouting. My mom was crying happy tears. My mother-in-law was holding her phone up. Rachel and Mark were in the middle, shoulder to shoulder, holding the giant cannon that would shoot pink powder for our baby girl. They looked like a couple. Rachel in white, Mark with his arm almost around her. 4, 3, 2. Rachel looked at Mark and whispered, loud enough that only I could hear because I was right behind her, after this, we tell her. Mark nodded, smiling. After this. They thought they were going to leave me. At my own gender reveal. For each other. 1. I pressed the button in my pocket. It wasn't for music. It was for the projector I had set up behind everyone. The one pointed at the big white sheet I told everyone was for a baby photo slideshow. The cannon fired. Boom. Pink powder everywhere. Everyone screamed it's a girl. But no one was looking at the pink cloud anymore. They were looking at the sheet. On the sheet, 10 feet tall, were their messages. Rachel, I wish I was the one carrying his baby. Mark, you're so much hotter than Alisa when she's pregnant, no offense. Rachel, the baby shower was so hot. Doing it while she was downstairs. Mark, you loved it. And then the photos. The screenshot of Rachel in her red dress that day. The hotel receipt Mark had hidden in his glove box from 2 weeks ago. Rachel plus Mark. Same hotel. And then the audio started playing. Because I had put my phone on voice record in Mark's truck that morning when I knew Rachel was coming over early to help set up. Rachel's voice, crystal clear over the speakers. Mark, just tell her tonight after the reveal. Tell her the baby is yours but you love me. She'll have to understand. Alisa is weak, she'll forgive you for Sophie's sake. Mark's voice, you're right. I don't love her anymore. Not since she got pregnant and got fat. Silence. Dead silence. Pink powder was still falling from the sky like sick confetti. My mom gasped. My mother-in-law dropped her phone in the grass. My dad stopped filming. Rachel turned around. Her white dress was covered in pink powder. Her face went from white to red. Alisa, you hacked us. This is fake. She's crazy. Pregnancy hormones. Mark just stood there, covered in pink, mouth open. Alisa, please. I can explain. I walked forward. 7.5 months pregnant, wobbling, but I have never stood taller in my life. I took the microphone from the DJ. My voice shook, but I spoke. My name is Alisa. And for 8 months, my best friend of 20 years and my husband have been sleeping together. They did it in my house during my baby shower while I was downstairs opening gifts for my daughter. And they planned to leave me tonight, at my daughter's gender reveal. I looked at Rachel. You said I was naive. You were right. I was naive to think my best friend would never steal my husband while I was carrying his child. I looked at Mark. And you said I got fat. Yes, Mark. I got fat because I am growing your daughter inside me. A daughter you will now only see on supervised visitation. Then I looked at everyone. This party is over. Thank you for coming. Please leave the gifts, I will need them as a single mom. No one moved for a second. Then my mom ran to me and hugged me so hard I thought she would squeeze Sophie out. My dad got in Mark's face. You get off my daughter's property. Now. My mother-in-law, Mark's own mother, slapped him. Hard. You disgusting boy. She is carrying your child. Rachel tried to grab my arm. Alisa, sister, please, it was a mistake. I pulled my arm back. Don't ever call me sister again. Sisters don't sleep with sisters' husbands. Security, who I had hired and told everyone was for the expensive equipment, escorted Mark and Rachel out of my backyard. Rachel in her pink-stained white dress, crying. Mark in his pink-covered shirt, head down. Everyone left, but not before hugging me, giving me money, crying with me. My aunt slipped $500 in my pocket. For Sophie. That night, I slept in my own bed alone for the first time in 10 years. And I slept better than I had in 8 months. Here is the justice part. The next morning, my lawyer cousin Jennifer filed for divorce and for full custody. With all the video, audio, and messages as evidence, Mark didn't even fight it. The judge gave me the house, full custody, and child support. Mark gets Sophie every other weekend, supervised, because the judge said a man who cheats on his pregnant wife at her baby shower shows poor judgment. Rachel? She lost everything. Her boyfriend dumped her when he saw the video that my cousin posted online, blurred, but everyone who knew. Her family in Ohio stopped talking to her. She tried to apologize 6 months later. I didn't answer. And the twist no one expected. At the gender reveal, my doctor friend was there. She saw how stressed I was and made me come in for a checkup the next day. She found that my blood pressure was dangerously high from all the stress they had caused. If I hadn't exposed them that day and gotten that checkup, I could have lost Sophie. Exposing them saved my daughter's life. Sophie is now 3 months old. She is healthy, beautiful, and has my eyes. She will never call Rachel godmommy. My mom is her godmommy now. I am Alisa, I am 39 years old, and I learned that sometimes your best friend is your worst enemy, and your husband is just a stranger you married. But I also learned I am so much stronger than I ever thought. If you have ever been betrayed by your best friend or your husband, tell me your story in the comments below. You are not alone. I read every single comment. And if you felt my pain and my justice, please hit that like button, subscribe to Alisa Revenge Stories, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss my next true story. I'm Alisa, and thank you for listening to my daughter and me.